Hey YouTube, Rob with Lollier Artistry. Taking a break from Casey Customs Demon Blade build. I have other pieces that need to be built, so um, we'll work. We're gonna work on those. And today I'm working on two donation knives. One is for the North Bay Fire Department right here in Central New York. It's going to be a chef's knife with a red handle and the badge etched into the steel. That piece will be available August 26th at the North Bay Fire Department. That's the day that the auction is going on. Stop by, I'll be there, answer any of your questions, meet and greet if you want to meet me. But, it's for a good cause. Fire departments need our help. And when your house is burning, you want the fire department to have the best equipment and be able to get to you safe and them to get home safe to their family. And the second knife that I'm doing is for Marvelous Ways International. I grew up with my best friend Mark Haywood. He's the founder of it, and they do great work. They work over in Central America, help kids get educations and things along them lines. You can go to their website, marvelouswaysint.org, if you want to donate. I think this is their 5th year of doing this raffle. And I'm privileged enough and very thankful that I get asked every year to make a knife. I do it because I love children, and Mark's my best friend, and a great guy, great charity. And so for Marvelous Ways, we're doing two knives. We're doing a chef's knife, and we're doing a hunting knife. The chef's knife's already made, but the winner's going to be able to choose between which knife they want, a chef's knife or the hunting knife. And then I'll be able to bring home the other one, and that piece will probably be up for sale. I'm probably going to match both handles. That way they both look incredible. The chef's knife already has like a cherry burrow and some 7,000-year-old bogwood oak in it for the handle. A very nice piece. But these pieces I'm making are not my high-end Damascus pieces that would cost hundreds of or even thousands of dollars. A lot of these are my least expensive priced pieces. I get mono steel like this. This is 1080 from Pop's Knife Supply. Great company to work with. I'm not a paid sponsor. It's just I like to promote when there's good business. And so this piece here will be the hunting knife, and that's what we're going to get started on today. We'll cut it out. This is not forged; it's cut to shape, and this is where you save your money on pieces. And I try to tell hunters, if this is a piece you're going to use and may lose or damage or something, if it's an everyday piece that you're going to really put to work, go with mono steel. Don't spend the money on a Damascus piece that if you lost or you broke or something were to happen to that knife, that you'd be out hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So with that being said, check out both organizations, and give if you can. If not, I understand. This was just letting everybody know what these pieces are for, and great charities that they are. So we'll get this piece cut out with the bandsaw, and we'll go from there. So we'll see you guys in a minute. As you can see, we've got the knife rough cut to shape. Now we take it over to the belt grinder and get her dialed in, get all the lines nice and straight. But this will be the shape. It's got a good size to it for, using in the woods on your animal, or, even whittling a stick. It'll do it. So, all right, we'll get onto the belt grinder and go from there. We'll clean up all the edges and get her dialed in, get the profile the way we want it, and this is how we do that, right here on the belt grinder. Turn up the speed. with that, you can see the blades coming out. We still got this area to do and a little bit more refinement in this back area here. Now you can do this all by hand filing. If you don't have a belt grinder and you're just starting out, you can do all this by hand filing. I'm fortunate enough, I built my own and I get to use it. Now on this I got to do a different attachment for here, and I built that too. And we changed the belt, just slide it off, loosen here, take this tooling arm out all the way, put it off to the side, and now this one, all it is skateboard bearings. It's pretty simple, easy to make on a piece of tube steel. Slides into the receiver, bring your belt out, pull down, keep tension on it, tighten, and that'll hold that shock in place. It'll come back, but it'll make the blade nice and tight. Now we can dial it in. And you see it's running off, so we have to move it in, and I do this before I start the grinder up. Just get her kind of started, moving in the right direction. And then when we add the power to it, we can fine tune it even more. Now we can get down in these areas where it's hard to get to with this other grinder, the other attachment. We're probably going to smooth this, bring this around right here so it's a nice spot for your finger. We'll do that right here too. This is where the connection between the knife and your hand is, so you want it comfortable. You know, you want to be able to grip it and be like, yeah, that feels good in the hand. So I think we're good there. You can see all the lines are all nice. We've got the nice finger choil right here. Everything's lined up, looking good. So next we're going to go and we'll start our bevels. For those who aren't following along with the Casey custom build, I showed this in one of my episodes, I think episode 3. I created this filing jig. It's good for putting in your bevels. Now, you want your bevels and your plunge lines, these are where you put in right here. It's called a plunge line. Now you could angle it like that if you wanted to and have a really aggressive plunge line. Or I like just to keep mine nice and simple. I move it to the edge where the blade is. As you can see, there's the finger choil. I move it in just past the finger choil. About there. Line it up so it's straight. Clamp it in place. And that's just done with a couple screws, a piece of aluminum, a couple pieces of aluminum. You know, it's better if you had a hardened steel, but this was just thrown together one day because I needed it. And so now, if you look down through there, you can see that the blade has got nice parallel surfaces. And you can hand file all of your bevels in. You can. If you don't have a belt grinder, do it. I'm going to start my bevels with a file, and then move over to the belt grinder and do the main removement of steel. So we'll get this set up in the vise and I'll be right back. Okay, we got her all set up in the vise. And basically I use that same file guide just to kind of rough it all in this one side. Bring them in, get them in there so you know exactly where to stop with your grinder. To get your plunger lines good and square and make everything look nice and professional. Okay, so now we're off to the belt grinder after we do a little bit more work. For this next part, it's best to be done on a surface granite plate, something very smooth, very flat. I don't have one, so we're just going to use Bradley's beam. Take a magic marker, fill in your edge, your blade edge. Fill it all nice and black, so get some nice coverage. Okay, let that dry for a second. Then you take a drill bit, about the same thickness of your blade. And with a drill bit, you take the tip and you run it down the center of the blade. Flip it and do the back side so you get a good consistent line, and you'll know where to grind to. I don't know if the camera will catch it or not, but there's a line. Now I can see that on the belt grinder. When I'm running the belt grinder like this, I can know to grind to that line. That is the center of the blade. So that way both bevels come out even and everything looks right. To the belt grinder. At this stage, this is where you want your belt grinder to run really true, so you can get right in there and bump up against your platen where you're not going to mess up your bevels and your plunge line. So we'll get this dialed in nice. Doesn't take much. A little bit of speed. And now we're going to come in at a 45 and grind to that line, that center line. See our bevels are moving up, so we'll make the other side match, but I'm not going to make you all sick through that. I'll get her ground and we'll be back. And there you have it. Bevels ground in, looking like a knife now. Both sides match. And this is just the rough grind, and I like to try to keep my edge about size of a dime, thickness of a dime. That way it doesn't warp, or less warp in the heat treat. Tomorrow we'll drill holes for our pins to hold the handle scale on, and we'll drill some other holes to take some weight out of the blade and plus give the epoxy something to grab onto. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll heat treat and get her ready. So again, like, follow, subscribe. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to you. I'm new to this YouTube, so be kind. But no, all honest and any kind of feedback I'm looking for. So please subscribe and follow, and we'll see you tomorrow.